the dating world is so treacherous to Black women right now.
Talk about it now.
There's so much expected of us, and there's like when I do it, it's ghetto and it's loud and it's ratchet. But when Becky do it, she's cool.
Come
she's
on.
getting points. She's quirky.
Yeah.
She's Gen Z.
Feisty.
She's
Yeah,
fire.
She's into the
And
culture.
then, you know what I'm saying?
Welcome back to MRE Legacy Talk Show. Today, I'm so excited to bring you another episode. Like I said, we are in Black History Month. So today, I brought amazing people, and we're going to be talking about relationship and dating. So please make sure, you tune in because, man, it's going to be an amazing episode, and it's going to be really, really amazing. A lot of ideas, and we have smart people in the building, y'all. Smart people and, people of color in the building. That is such an amazing thing. So we're going to start, to my right, to my left, we're going to introduce ourselves. And, let's start to my right.
I'm Brandon. I'm a freshman here at Western. I'm excited to be here.
Deja, also a freshman. So excited to be here.
Ashley, also a freshman.
Prince, very excited to be here. Junior.
Ty, I'm a second year.
Day, I'm a junior.
Hey, and as you guys know, I'm Emery. So today we're going to be talking about relationships, and so we're going to feel free to share your ideas about relationships, dating, and just the first question I would love to ask, I'm pretty sure all of us are familiar with social media and all that kind of stuff. Do you guys think men and women can be friends? Just feel free to share your idea about that, because on my end, I've seen a lot, I've heard a lot. So I just want to hear from you guys what you think, especially as men and women of color. What you guys think of that?
I think it all starts with like a maturity level.
Yeah.
If you can't be friends with like someone of the opposite gender, then that's just like something on you, kinda. You should definitely be able to not or have those like platonic relationships
For sure.
with just like opposite gender, even the same gender.
How about you?
I agree. I don't think it's impossible. It's definitely possible. But it's not always like, I don't think people always go into relationships with like the right intentions, you know what I'm saying? Like there's usually like a different intention there, but it's possible to just be friends.
Yeah, I agree. I think that a lot of time people or like guys go into a friendship with girls wanting something or because they are attracted to them, but I don't like, of course I don't think it's impossible, and a lot like there's times where it's not like that. In my experience, it's usually like that, but not always. Of course not. I think people can be friends without wanting to be in a relationship.
That's deep.
Yeah, I definitely agree with Brandon and Ashley as well. I feel like it's more of a maturity thing. You have to, be able to reach that level of mindset where you can actually be in a platonic friendship with a woman without having to want like any type of relationship or sexual type of relationship with that person.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I agree. I think it's a character thing, but it's not common, at least from what I've seen.
Yeah.
I haven't seen many dudes just want to be just friends with girls.
It's low key our fault, not like us guys, but like guys in general.
See, that's why that's why I asked this question though. Like, sometimes we go into something like
expecting
something to come out of that.
And then it's like you just settle for a friendship because you know it's not gonna happen. So I feel like the intention isn't always to just be friends, but it just happens once you know you're not gonna be more than just friends.
That's
I
deep.
feel like most of the time the intention's not to.
It's not.
But even then, sometimes when you get friend zone, people, the guys are sometimes still waiting.
They still got that
for that
hope.
opportunity.
Because they're like, once they break up with your boyfriend, I'm gonna be there, and she's gonna fall because she's emotionally available right now. You feel me?
So dudes are thirsty.
Very much so.
Yeah.
Not me though.
Stay safe. Not me though. Not real.
What you think?
I mean, just like everybody said, I think there is a level of self-control that but people have to have in order to have these, platonic friendships. And I think that it's very achievable. But like we also all said, like you have to go into it with the right frame of mind. A lot of people, we could take it on campus, but also on social media. Like we see jokes about it all the time. Like
Yeah.
we see people just being that friend just so that when the opportunity is
Right.
Slide,
available,
yep.
that
Slide
they can be
in.
right there,
Mhm.
right? But I think that's a very childish way of thinking, right? Because you're missing out on the opportunity of actually being there. Like, there's a lot of things that go into it, right? Like, if like that girl is in a relationship or the guy's in a relationship or whatever, and you're like friends with them, like I think you guys should, open yourselves up in a different aspect of just being boyfriend girlfriend, right? Like friendships, like people say people don't really work on friendships, and I think that's like a bad thing because going into a friendship, like you can also be a good friend and a bad friend.
Right.
People don't really think about that, but they think, oh, but if I get in a relationship, I could be a good boyfriend or a bad
Exactly.
boyfriend.
I think
So
the time, like, knowing somebody and being their friend and then getting into that relationship really matters. Like,
sure.
the time of, like, being their friend first
Yep,
is important.
exactly.
I do think, just to add on what you say, I do think there's two things. Is being secure, first of all. Like,
Yeah.
I trust this person. Because at the end of the day, I do think it's all about who you are deep down. You can't say you're gonna be friends with someone, even like just friends. You guys are doing something different.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So regardless if you have friends or not, firstly, I think someone has to be secure and also trust the person that they're together with. Because I've seen some people just be like, I don't trust your friend.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's just like that intuition inside you is just telling you, okay, there's something different about this friend. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. I just feel like if you're in a relationship, you have to be secure first.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
That's an important part.
Just
Mhm.
and also I feel like people nowadays they're just I don't know, they're just looking something short.
Mm.
If you're looking something short, you can find it everywhere. You just just gonna be jumping 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yep.
Instead
This is the
of-
perfect atmosphere for something short, too. Like, college life.
Yeah.
That's that
Yeah.
all anybody wants, I feel like.
I just feel like we as a society don't focus on platonic relationships enough. Like being in something romantic, situationship, whatever is just so romanticized and normalized these days,
Mm.
and we don't talk about how important platonic friendships are. I
Yeah.
feel like platonic friendships are more important than romantic relationships, personally.
Yeah.
I agree.
Like older people, they say, "Oh, we're having an open relationship,"
Mhm.
but like us as not us, but like younger people, we say, "Oh yeah, we need to take a break.
Mm.
Yeah, let's take a break from dating." Right? That's the same thing, but we're just changing the term of it. So I
You
think,
think so?
oh yeah,
Yeah.
taking a break.
and having an open relationship is two entirely different things. I feel like.
Tell us.
Because if you're together and you decide to take a break, that's like, we don't know what we want right now, we're going to figure it out and use this break as a time to like figure out what we want. And then once you get back together, you are in a closed relationship. Like it's not an open relationship.
I feel like the point of a relationship, though, is like the intimacy factor.
Yeah.
And like, you don't have that when you're in
Mhm.
open relationship. So I feel like he's more kind of right in the sense where like, it's almost the same thing.
I
Like-
think for different reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because like, they still want that person. It's just, I don't want you right now. That's why I'm
So
seeing
you
other
feel
people.
like taking a break is an opportunity to just mess around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
That
what
can
I
be
think. That's how
what-
people
that's-
perceive it.
Yeah,
That's how
modern
it's
day,
supposed to be.
absolutely.
It's not. It might not be
You know
what
what
it's
I'm
supposed
saying?
to be, but I think that's how people perceive it
Okay,
for sure.
that's fair.
Yeah.
But I mean, and with that too, I don't think me personally, I don't think taking a break is ever a right thing in a relationship, and simply because like I think you should work it out, right? Like a relationship is never going to be perfect.
Mm.
So I
Yeah.
feel like taking a break stems from, oh, this relationship isn't perfect because of what I'm going through. Well, you're in this relationship and you trusted that person
Right.
so that when times get rough, you can
Fall back on
come
them.
together.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Exactly.
So when you guys bring in that word of, oh yeah, let's take a break, it means, I don't want to say it means, but coming from like my stance, I feel like you're kind of just giving up on the relationship. Like you guys could work through it, but you're like, let me see what's out there first,
Mm.
and then I'll come back to you. Where it's like, no, like that's your girl, that's your man's. Like,
Yeah.
get it together. You guys need to work on it because now it's not one-on-one attacking a situation. You guys are
Mhm.
now one attacking this situation, whether it's
Yeah.
her situation or it's his situation. You guys are both attacking that together. You guys
Right.
are now trying to be one. Like the end goal is trying to get married.
Yeah.
Mm.
So I don't think having a break is necessarily a good thing for relationships.
See, I do agree with you. Just because from my own experience, was a time, in my life, this person said, you know what, I'm gonna take a break, and that was it. So I do agree with you, because when you take a break, it's just like, you know what, I'm tired of you.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna, focus. There's some sort of selfishness into that, if you think about it. And also, like you said, I feel like in the hard times, people should stick together. For example, COVID was one of the hard times, throughout the whole world. So it wasn't like one country. So it was, everybody was looking out for each other. It was like, hey, how you feeling today? This and that. So, like, adding on what you say, I do think taking a break is just like, it's, I don't know, it feels fishy. What you guys think, though?
No, you're right.
Yeah, I hear him on that.
Yeah.
I think that's where that best friend come in.
I strongly disagree with you guys. I genuinely do, because that's what taking a break has become, but that's not what it's ideally supposed to be. Like, it's not you just going around and doing whatever you want, messing on whoever. Like, you take a break because just like, maybe this isn't something you can figure out together. You know what I'm saying? I feel like it's more like self-discovery. You're working on yourself. You're trying to make sure that this person is good for you in this moment, and that you're still good for them.
Not to cut you off, but like, before you enter a relationship, you should have discovered yourself first.
A lot happens in a relationship.
Okay. So if you say like, hey, I'm going through this, I don't want anybody to be with me, or your boyfriend, or your husband, whatever, don't you think that is kind of like selfish, or just like don't want to help from
No.
Okay.
I also think that taking a break is not a breakup. It's two entirely different things. You're still working towards being together and showing up as your best self for that person.
What acts go on during a break then? Like, what are you doing?
Because if I'm in a relationship and I'm taking a break, you're not messing with nobody, I'm not messing with nobody.
What is like, y'all just aren't talking?
No, you're working on yourselves. There could be communication too, but it's just like you're just
not
taking
in
some
that.
time.
Yeah.
Because I also feel like sometimes when you're in a relationship, lines get blurred and you almost become the same person.
Yeah.
And it's hard to like be an individual person.
Yeah.
And I say this from somebody who's taken a break in a relationship, and it's about, I feel like I've lost some of my individuality within like being with this person, and I need to find that again so that I can show up as my best person, and then we could be better together. You know what I'm saying?
So like following what she said. Sorry, my fault.
No, it's definitely been misconstrued. But
yeah, following what she said, I feel like at the end of the day, it stems back to the maturity thing. You have to be mature enough to, when you take a break, you're actually focusing on yourself and not getting tempted by any other, or just trying to distract yourself by doing any other type of bullshit. You're actually doing what you took the break for, to actually focus on yourself, so you can be a better person, so that when y'all both come back, you're both better versions of yourself, and you know how to figure out how to work your relationship this time. That's the whole point of a relationship, for you to both work it out, put in the effort. You have to be mature enough to actually do that, though. If you don't have the maturity,
and if you mess around or they mess around, then you know y'all not supposed to be together, and you got your clarity regardless.
Exactly.
That's good. And before we continue, make sure you subscribe, like, share, and comment. Help with the YouTube algorithm to just push it all the way through to see. I want this video to go far away, just because I do think we got some amazing thought. I mean, look at us. We're just smart people out here.
Right. Smart black people.
Yeah.
Smart black people in February.
So adding on that, you guys think that relationships should be 50-50?
No.
Please, you start.
I think it should be 100-100. Like 50-50, so like, what does that really even
when you're like
mean?
Counting with your partner, like
You're
that's
already
stuff
messing
you're
up.
messing
You're
up.
already
That's stuff
messing
you
up.
do with like people you don't like. I feel like I did a favor for you. Where's my favor
Yeah.
back?
Where's my favorite line?
It's like things you do with people you don't like.
Yeah.
I think you should always.
You keep going, yo.
I said I think you should always just like go into it trying to give like the best you got. 'Cause
Right.
if you're going in thinking I expect them to love me more than I'm gonna love them,
Right.
what are you gonna get out of it? Because like
You
you
should
just want things.
you should just do life like that. I really strive to like. I'm never expecting something in return out of anything I'm trying to do. That's just how I go through life. I feel like.
And that's a good mentality to have.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't go in a relationship to get love or respect from somebody. You go in to give it. So why would you get in a relationship and then expect it to be reciprocated?
Mhm.
You know,
Mm.
it's
Yeah.
like, oh, I like this person, give me more.
Mhm.
Like, why would you do that?
At the same time, you can't be blinded though. Like,
Yeah.
if
I
you're
was
seeing-
gonna say that
You're
though.
seeing you're giving way more
Mhm.
than the other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then you have to address that. Too.
But it shouldn't be a reason for you to stop.
Exactly.
Depending on
49,
what's
51.
like.
If you realize it's 49, 51, that shouldn't be a reason for breaking up.
Yeah.
See, that is kind of tough though, because not just I do agree with the fact that everybody should put their
Everything.
the
yeah.
effort, 100, but also I do think you shouldn't be blinded by just because the person looks good or whatever. I'm just gonna
Mhm.
give you
Absolutely.
everything, bam.
Right.
You know,
Absolutely.
I do think there has to be that, mutual understanding. Hey, I get this from a partner, not because if I give, then I'm gonna, receive the same thing. But like, this is my responsibility. I know I have to
Mhm.
provide for her.
Right.
She gotta take care of me. When I'm just coming back, from work or other things.
Yeah.
So like, if you're not seeing that, do you think you should continue? For example, let's say your husband from work, tired, stay-home mom, you're providing everything. You find the house is just like, all messed up, just no food on the table.
Mm.
Even though there is, you're paying everything,
Mhm.
man.
Well, that's why you have those conversations. So
Yeah.
you have those
Mhm.
conversations to be able to figure out, okay, how can I play my part in helping out my partner?
Mhm.
100, right? We're both trying to support each other
Mm.
in the best way we can.
Mhm.
How am I going to do that for my husband? How am I going to do that for my wife?
Mm.
So like, I grew up being somebody knowing that as I'm a man and I become a husband, I'm the provider. I'm the
Mhm.
sole provider of the house.
Mhm.
My wife doesn't need to do much at all.
Mhm.
Honestly, the only thing I require from my wife is just support in like emotional support, knowing there's somebody there for me, backing me up, and like she can help me out any way she can. But what I know is that I'm the sole provider. I'm doing my best to try and build a family.
Mm.
Taking care of my family. I know that. So at the end of the day, I just feel like you have to have that conversation. You talk to your wife. You figure out that okay, what is she? What can she do? I'm not gonna tell you I'm not gonna tell you what you should do. You feel me? Because why am I? If I'm telling you what you should do, I'm just commanding you. I'm not trying to be your commander or whatever. You're free. You're a free person. You can do whatever you want, but you also have to think about it and be like, how am I going to help out my husband?
Mm-hmm.
How can I show him that I love him? Blah 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 blah. All that. You can't just be there and expect me to just be doing everything for you. Not that I'm expecting you to do something, but like I'm like, then what is your purpose here?
That's deep. What you guys think?
It's just important to have those conversations, yeah.
Mhm.
Like, you shouldn't expect like crazy things from somebody else, but you also have to have a conversation about what you do expect.
Mm.
So you can't get in a relationship with somebody and be like, well, I thought you was gonna do this and this and that, but it's just like, oh, you didn't tell me that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, you should know. Boundaries should be set.
Absolutely.
Ooh.
And follow.
Boundaries,
Communication is
definitely.
key.
Boundaries,
Definitely
boundaries. What do you guys consider as cheating?
You go first.
Consider
Usually
cheating.
goes first.
Mhm.
Usually goes first.
I think that's a long list.
That was
No,
I just-
seriously.
I
No.
feel like doing anything that you know
Mm.
you wouldn't want the other person doing.
absolutely
Or
that is
doing
cheating.
something that you feel you need to hide, or you just feel like if you feel like it's wrong, it's probably wrong. You shouldn't be doing it.
Mm.
Absolutely.
Putting it as cheating.
What you think?
That's real. You guys seen like the TikTok trend? Is like, oh, that's a body, like for
Yeah.
something like not
Yeah.
related.
Yeah.
I feel like we just count everything as
Yeah.
cheating now. I'm not saying that it's not right or wrong, but
Mm.
I feel like some very normal things
Yeah.
can be counted on both sides.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah,
But then again, it also depends on how secure you are in your relationship.
exactly,
That's-
exactly.
Like I
Which is
said,
why these
'cause-
boundaries need to be set.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, because some relationships, I know friends of the opposite gender that can't have friends of the opposite gender in a
Exactly.
relationship,
And that's
and that's just like a boundary in their relationship.
mhm.
And I've seen people talk about that. Like, there's a famous person I know. I'm not finna.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Drop the name.
Yeah, I'm not finna out like
Can I
Cat
ask a
Will,
question?
but
Can I ask a
there's a
question?
person I know.
Yeah.
He said that he's married,
Mm.
been through a couple divorces,
Mm.
but he's married now, and he's like, "Oh, I can't have no girl like friends or
Right.
whatnot, and I can't be friends with girls, blah blah blah." And I'm like thinking, like, well, why can't you?
Mm.
Like, why? Like, what's going on with you being friends with a girl that's maybe scary to your wife. Like there's something going on there. Like if you just keep it cordial, keep it within the means, keep it within the context it should be in, then there shouldn't be any problems with that, right?
Yeah.
But even like after that, like if you do go on a break, right, and you like trying to find an out, you're trying to find an out and and it's like, why are you like who? So this person wasn't really just your friend. Like you had an attraction to this person, but you just can't control yourself enough to keep it in the context that it should be in. So,
What do you think?
Yeah, I agree with him. Them lists. This is a body hanging out with dudes. That's a body, bro. Anything that counts or looks like some type of disrespect from the perspective of the other person, cheating. Not necessarily cheating, but it's
you just wouldn't want your other to look like, you wouldn't want to like make them look crazy, make them like embarrassed. Like you shouldn't be embarrassed for something I'm doing or something like that.
Yeah.
And even if you don't know, right, it's the best to communicate with your partner and be like, oh, I'm sorry I did that, and be like, you're not gonna do that again, since you know that it makes them uncomfortable. So always be willing to compromise in your relationship.
Honesty is the best policy.
Absolutely.
but I think back to what you were saying as well. I think those conversations need to be had
beforehand.
Exactly. And that's going into like, I don't know, maybe I won't even say the friend stage, but like once you guys are starting to date, like you guys build that attraction to each other, like that's when you guys gotta like you said, like a lot of stuff is short term, so people don't have these conversations. But I'm not going into a relationship or for a short term. I'm not going in for just a year and be like, okay, I had my fun. Like, no, I'm doing this long term. So if this is long term, I'm finna prepare long term. So I'm setting the boundaries. I'm setting what I need to right now, so that I know. We communicate these things, and then we could build off that.
The foundation, exactly.
So these short-term things need boundaries too.
Yeah,
they do.
These short-term things need to stop.
they do need to stop. They do need to stop. Let me kind of add on, maybe ask a question. If you're going to approach someone and trying to, be friends, all that kind of stuff, hoping they're gonna get out of the friend zone, you think it's a good thing to do, or just like, hey, I'm looking for this thing, and I'm willing to start friends, but like, I don't know. I feel like going through something and just trying to act like you want to be a friend, it can't make you end up in the friend zone. What do you guys think on that? Because, I don't know. You can still say, hey, I'm looking to date you, but I wanna build up on that friendship first, but I'm looking to date you, not to just start with the friend. I want to be a friend.
So we get to know each other pretty much.
Yeah.
Isn't that talking? Isn't that the talking stage?
Yeah.
That's pretty much the talking stage then.
Well, I wanna ask you guys, what do you guys feel on the talking stage? Because I've kind of came to a conclusion, like, I feel like talking is basically dating, or in the sense. And right now, like for me, I'm like, I don't like all these extra, like titles. All these titles, I feel like get people in trouble. So instead of saying, oh, I'm talking to you, I'm like, okay, we're just dating. Like, I'm not gonna say, oh, I'm talking, because what does that entail? Oh, we just.
It means you have other options. It means you have other people you're talking to.
That is really, it's like the courting stage, whatever. That's you're dating.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Like,
I definitely feel that.
People use the word dating and talking as synonyms.
Yeah,
though.
exactly.
I don't know if you guys all know that. Like, they're just saying dating as if talking.
Yeah.
I feel like
That's different.
Yeah. I didn't know.
It's different.
It's lingo. It's like, where are you from, low-key?
it is, but with, again,
But how long
people
do you
gotta
think
have.
this talking stage should last?
That's important too.
Before
That is-
we're
So
making
how long
official
If you're
dates?
prolonging it
That's the
throughout months and months, I think that's
Well,
not your person.
Official
Probably.
before what? Before
Just
marriage?
how long do you
No.
No,
Whoa.
'cause see, that's what I'm saying,
Before
right?
it's like you're my girlfriend, you're my
And,
girlfriend.
like, we're locked
how
in.
long are we doing this talking thing for?
He said he doesn't
Then-
do the
so-
talking
Oh, you
thing
just
in
don't do
general.
it. What does that mean?
I've came to the conclusion now where I'm like, talking is kind of
Is-
not what I want to do
Yeah.
anymore.
Right.
Like I want to start off like us
Right.
getting to know each other, right? Being
Right.
friends. That's kind of where I want to have that establishment at. Then after that, I'm like, okay, I see some of these traits in you. I see
That way.
some of these morals in you. Maybe you're a godly woman, and that's really what's gonna attract me.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, okay, like let's stop playing around. Like if you like me, I like you. Let's date or talk, right? But then after that, it's like, okay, like I'm not gonna marry someone like next
Right.
year, right?
Right.
I don't got
Yeah.
the funds for that.
Yeah.
But like I feel like it's just however long that it needs to be,
Okay.
and like I can't explain it because like there's no timeline, right? We
Right.
know that, but like it's just when the feelings start, and you're like, man, like I want to have a future with you. Like I want us to have kids, or I want us to move in, like blah blah blah, whatever. Like I think that's when you gotta start really thinking about the good that comes with it, but then you gotta also see what bad could possibly come out of that, and then say, are you willing to stay with this person with those bad outcomes?
Yeah.
So I have a question, right? When you get into this friendship, do you go into this friendship with the intention of them eventually becoming your girlfriend because you have like that kind of attraction? You're like, oh, I can see her being my girlfriend. So let me just be friends with her now and see how she's like first before I make a move or something. Is that what you do?
No, see,
Okay.
and like I said, like this is something that I'm kind of like, I haven't dated in like a year maybe, but like I'm trying to figure out like what all I need to work on in myself and what all I need to change so that this can work out, right? So like going into friends, like I'm not looking at you as like, oh yeah, like I want to be your friend because I want to date you. No, I want to have a genuine friend. Like that's what I feel like I kind of lack, like having a good platonic friendship. And so when we go into this, like, okay, like, yeah, we're friends, cool, blah, blah, blah. But then after that, and I'm like, wow, you're cooler than I realized. Or like I said, like you're a godly woman and you have some of these traits and some of these characteristics that I like. And it's like, oh, okay, let's see what's after this, right? Like, are we going to keep it in this friendship context or do we want something more? And then we just talk about it. So I don't know, like, I don't want to go.
No, go into it.
For
Go into
me, like knowing, right, like I don't want to go into a friendship with lustful eyes, right? I don't want to go into a friendship being like, oh yeah, like I don't want to just be your friend, like, because then I feel like that starts something so bad, like we said earlier, right? Like you come into it with bad intentions. I don't want to have a friend with that, like, because I know like that's bad for me and that's bad for her, that's bad for us. So if that's a bridge that's better left unbuilt, then I'm not gonna build it. But if I do go into a relationship just trying to be friends and trying to like genuinely be like, hey, like let's just hang out in the friendship context and just see like how it builds on after that. If it goes somewhere, it goes somewhere. If it doesn't, then we're friends. We don't need to put any pressure on each other.
So it's like you're looking for a girlfriend, but you're not looking. It will just happen eventually when you're like, okay, I see the traits that I want in my girlfriend in her, and then eventually you're like, okay, I would like to make her my girlfriend. But initially you're not thinking that. Yeah, I want to make her my girlfriend. Let me see how this goes. Okay.
But what I feel like
like
what's
that.
important is if you see a girl and you want to be with her, you should let your intentions be known when you approach her. Don't
Thank
do
you.
the
Thank
friend
you.
thing,
The
like
friend
it's another
thing.
friend thing. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Because
You waste their time. You waste your time.
it's just not gonna end well.
So adding to what he was saying, what you guys look into the partner? You know, you like someone you want to. Maybe you, I don't know. Ladies first, please.
For all the men who would like to know.
This is the blueprint right here, by the way.
I think just people like someone who's like compatible for you, someone who you can just like talk to easily or get along with easily, and just like feel comfortable being around. Because like you're not gonna want to be with someone who you just like don't want to spend time with. So I think obviously depends on just yourself, but I think compatibility, just like personality wise, is really good because like then it's just easy flow.
Yeah.
I feel like I just want a friend and a partner. Yeah, like I don't want you to just be my partner. I want you to be my friend. So we're joking, we're laughing, we're having a good old time. There's trust, honestly, like all the good things. But I just think that you should know how to be a friend.
That's why I think going in friends first is good.
Yeah, didn't you just say don't
No,
go
I'm
over
not saying you go in as a friend. I'm saying like I want you to be my partner and my friend.
Okay, so how do I do that if I can't come into a relationship as your friend?
You can still
Well,
learn
no,
somebody
what
though.
I'm saying, what I'm trying to say is
I'm asking questions.
That is a good question.
when you're approaching
Just better
somebody, if you like you approaching a girl and you want her in a not just friends way, you should let that be known off rip.
Okay.
If
But
it
wouldn't it
happens,
make it
that's what I'm
harder?
saying. If you enter it as a friendship and that just happens, you know what I'm saying? But if you know that's not what you want, you should let it be known, like what you want off rip.
Okay, so if I come to somebody and I say, hey, let's start like like I want to be with you eventually, but I'm gonna
Let
come
her
here as
know
a
that
friend.
you want to talk to her. Like,
Don't you think it makes it harder for you to look at that person as a friend?
No, not if you're a normal person.
I do think a lot of girls can see that as what Zaya's saying.
Yeah, they do.
Like weird almost, yeah.
That's a lot of the reason why guys don't like girls having guy friends, because they approach you and they're like, yeah, but then, you know, they said the girl sets that boundary. Oh no, we're just friends.
The
Meanwhile,
guy
that
doesn't
dude's-
care about that boundary at
That's
all.
game. That's
And
game
a
for
guy
dudes.
problem,
You know what I'm
too.
saying?
Like,
See-
Yeah, that's a character
yeah.
issue for sure.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, like, I think the issue just comes from, like, it stems from, like, people being selfish and not selfless. You're interested in the person and you care about that person. So why do you obsess over wanting them so bad? You feel me?
Yeah.
Like, at least for me, like, when I have friends, like, just compared to a platonic relationship with, like, your homies or girls, like your female friends, you care about them, you know, you're interested in them, you know their qualities, you want to hang out with them, you feel me? It's nothing more, nothing less. You don't obsess over their time or their energy or whatever your relationship looks like them. But then when it comes to, you know, like romantic relationships, dudes approach and it's like, nah, I want to make you mine, you feel me? And I want to do this. I'm trying to, you know what I'm saying? And it becomes a possessive thing. And I think relationships should be a lot more selfless. If you're going to be with somebody, you're being with them because you care about them and you want more for them. You don't want more for yourself. You don't, you know, approach somebody because, oh, I want you to do this for me. I want this for me. You feel me? You like them. You feel me? It's, yeah, that's for me. But
I feel like I said earlier, society does not talk about platonic relationships a lot. And I feel like an issue is that people don't know how to be friends. You can't be a partner if you don't. You can't be a good partner if you know how to be a good friend. And I just feel like that's something a lot of people lack.
you can't be a partner if you're not a good person.
That's true. That's true.
They're both true. It's both true.
Yeah. Tell us what you think. You know, like what do you look for in that?
It's really just someone, like Ashley was saying, someone compatible to me. I feel like it's really important that we have similar interests, I think, but at the same time, you just have to be your own person. You can't be self-sufficient off me. We definitely have to be able to have time apart. I think that's really it. There's not really many qualifications, I feel like.
I feel like that's so important. You have to be your own person. Don't rely on somebody. Don't feel like you cannot live without. You should not feel like you can live without somebody. That's actually insane and absurd.
That's insane.
I hate
Don't do that. Don't
that
tell
is
me you
that
can't
is
run away.
that's
I have like
That's
friends
it.
who are like
That's
that.
it.
It's like,
That's
oh
it.
no.
That's it.
She's like, I don't know what to do with my life, and I was like, I
Which
just
is
don't
why
know
I
how to
think
help
it's so
you.
important to keep your individuality when you're in a relationship.
Yeah.
Know who you
Yeah.
are. You're not an extension of anybody.
You guys are just coming together.
Yeah.
What you guys think?
No, I just agree.
Like,
In terms of what I look for,
Yeah.
I feel like me personally, I'm looking for somebody. Compatibility is definitely a main thing, and I am looking for somebody who I am comfortable enough to be vulnerable around. That if I can't be vulnerable, because like most guys, you're not really vulnerable about anybody like that. But if you're my person, I want to be able to be vulnerable around you without having to feel like I'm walking on eggshells. Without having to feel like, oh my God, if I tell her, she's gonna be like, you feel me? I don't want all that, you know. So
Yeah, same for me, honestly. I'm simple, bro. Just be respectful, you feel me? Keep me in consideration. Be your own person. That's it. You don't even have to have like the same hobbies, you feel me?
Right.
'Cause
Yeah.
a lot of the things I like to do by myself.
Right.
Because I'm an individual, you feel me?
yeah.
That makes it easier, you feel me? Stops like a lot of miscommunication. But like, I think just respect and like consideration goes a lot farther than anything else.
I don't know. I think I want my girl to be my rebounder. We want us to hoop together. But honestly, bro, I want like a Proverbs 31 woman.
Come on.
But
Preach
what
that.
that entails, I really don't know what that entails. Cause like we could want something in one person
Right.
and we get it, but it looks so bad.
Yeah.
But
in
then
reality.
we might not want it in a different person and they give it, and it's like, what the heck? Like, what's going on here, right? So I can't even give like a real good answer on what I want or what I look for,
Mhm.
but I do know what I don't want, and that's
I think that's more of an important topic than what you do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like when you're seeking for love, real love, I don't think you're, like I said, seeking. I don't think you're actually looking for it. I think it like falls onto you
Mm-hmm.
when it's the most authentic.
Yep, exactly.
So like it's more of like what I wouldn't take in a person than like
Mhm.
what I is
Word.
looking for. I feel
Yeah.
like.
That's deep. But like, he says something that I want to bring out
Mm.
about being vulnerable,
Yeah.
but in a different thing. So there is this thing that the society says men shouldn't be vulnerable in front of women. In some instances can be true, in other can be wrong, because people actually research has has shown that if men just become like cry in front of women, that level of respecting that man decreases.
Mm.
What do you guys think on that?
I think that goes really into like ick culture.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think, for some girls, crying would definitely make them respect men less. But I
Mhm.
think that's just like, they're gonna be like, ew. But like, I don't think that men should not be able to cry in front of a girl they like.
There's
Like,
a
I
lot
think
of
crying's good.
concepts online that have like really ruined dating culture.
Yeah.
Like that people they attach the same things together. So it's so
Mhm.
easy to do it, but like it's a different place online in real life. Like
Yeah.
that's this the stuff that like people have these conversations on online just don't happen in real life.
Yeah.
I really feel like it's genuinely okay to cry in front of whoever you want, and perception is the eye of the beholder. If you just be yourself around everyone, and it'll make it easier to be like you, I guess.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, not to sound like a broken record, but once again, maturity. You gotta be
Doesn't
mature.
like
Like people who are like, oh, I want my man to be tough all the time. You're,
Right.
you're tweaking. You're not tough all the time. What do you mean? So like, yeah, maturity. You gotta be emotionally mature to be in a relationship. If not, then just get out.
I also think vulnerability is a strength. Yeah,
He said what?
vulnerability is a strength
Absolutely.
that not a lot of people have, and it's been embedded into toxic masculinity. It's like you teach men. I mean, we're gonna touch on like double standards, but that's it.
Mhm.
That's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Men are supposed to be strong, and women are not. And we've been carrying on for like so many generations that it's almost hard to like not
Follow those rules.
Yeah.
Mm.
That's deep. That's deep.
I feel like we're getting away from it now, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Little by little.
Yeah.
Little by little. Not much, but kind of.
I feel like it's building upon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this brings me to my last topic, and I really want to hear what you guys think of this. What do you guys think about double standards, especially nowadays? It is women a lot to do this, men, and all that kind of stuff. What do you guys think of it?
Okay. I feel like I don't really believe in that. I don't
Mhm.
believe that a man can do this, a woman can do this. I feel like everybody can do it,
Right.
but a
Right.
man can probably do it better. A woman can do this better,
Mm.
But there's nothing anybody cannot do,
Right.
So in terms of double standard, I'm like, as a woman, I'm not gonna be doing this. As a man, I'm not gonna be doing that. As a man, I'm not gonna be washing dishes. As a woman, I'm not gonna be, paying the bill. It's just very
Mhm.
ugh to me, cause
Mm.
like
Yeah.
just
I think that goes back to what you keep saying, though. People aren't mature enough.
yeah.
They just want to put off like responsibilities and not even responsibilities like specifically, but they just want to put off stuff to other people.
Right.
But then
Mhm.
they want to gain like,
Yeah.
oh, this makes me look good, so I'm gonna
Yeah,
do it.
I think the idea of like getting off on somebody is like popular right now. Like
Mm.
getting up, like, oh, you're doing all this for me,
Yeah.
and I'm not doing anything back. Like I'm never doing something that I wouldn't do twice for somebody else. Like
Mm.
I just don't understand it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
What you guys think?
There's a lot of toxicity in double standards, and that a lot. Yeah, I agree with Prince. Like, there's gross. It's like you should be able. You can do what you can do.
I'm cleaning dishes so hard. I swear to God, I would.
Yeah, 'cause
My mom
know,
made sure
like-
I do that shit. So like,
Yeah.
I'm
I know.
vacuuming so
I know.
hard if my wife's at work. Like
I
I'm
know.
doing all these things.
Mhm.
And I hope it would be the same reciprocated.
Yeah.
If I'm
That's
working
it.
so hard, like I don't think it should be.
Yeah.
It's just social contracts.
I think that goes with what you were saying about giving like 100 to a
Yeah.
relationship.
And just respect
life.
Supporting
and
each other.
maturity.
Mm.
But
Absolutely,
respect
support each other
too.
any way
Yeah,
you
maturity.
can.
Because you should know how to clean the same way you should know how to cook as a man
Okay.
or a woman or anybody.
Yeah.
Not to cut you off, but I
Yeah.
just thought of something right now. If you include race into this kind of conversation we're talking, it's gonna be different.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, because allow me to bring this, because the way I was raised,
Mhm.
the way I was raised is different from
Yeah, that is very true.
so race does also
Play a
play,
factor.
yeah,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I don't know about you guys, but the more videos I see, those videos are coming from white women. I might be wrong, guys. I might be wrong, but from my feed, right? From my feed, I'm talking about from my feed. On my
It's
social
TikTok.
media
It's
now.
TikTok.
Instagram.
So
It's
I
no
mean,
rules.
obviously there's some other black women, black men who are just have different point of views from us, but the high percentage I see this coming from is from white women, and I'm like, okay, interesting. I can cook, and clean for my husband, this and that, all that kind of stuff. So, do you think race plays a role into dating and relationship?
Yes.
Yeah,
I think
absolutely.
race and culture.
Mm.
It's like how people grow up,
Mhm.
like what they are around. Like you're gonna base what you think on relationships based on what you see.
Mm.
So like if you grew up with like your dad being a breadwinner,
Mm.
you're gonna be like, that's what I'm gonna be.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So, I think that is a really big part.
I
'Cause
feel
you're
like.
s- yeah.
Oh, sorry.
No, you did.
I feel like, Africans in general, like I won't say the whole Africa, but most Africans are African men. When they grow up, they're taught that, to be the breadwinner. And
Like the
everything.
traditional.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And the
Mhm.
woman is supposed to always be a stay at home mom.
Mm.
She's not supposed to work nothing. She's just supposed to take care of the kids, clean the house, all that. The man is supposed to do all the heavy lifting and stuff like that.
Right.
But when you come to America, that's nothing's wrong. With a woman also doing her own stuff. I'm absolutely fine with that. But like I said, race plays a different
Mhm.
role in everything. So, we have people here who do that. We have people there who do that. Just have that conversation with your spouse or
Yeah.
your
Yep.
partner, and figure out what y'all want to do. If you're comfortable with it, then yeah. If you're not, then just reevaluate your relationship.
That's deep.
So earlier you said like what you look for a girl.
Mhm.
You said you look for like a girl to just not do much but just support you.
Mhm.
But you said you were also raised and told that. So are you looking for that in women because that's what you were raised in, or are you?
Oh,
looking
I'm
for-
not. I'm.
That's
oh.
a good question.
That's what you want.
So are you talking about like in terms of my wife cleaning the house and doing that?
Yeah.
Like I said, I don't really care. I'm one who's partial to both. I don't really care as long as I'm just getting support from my wife the same way I'm supporting her. I'm not. It's not like I'm like
Yeah.
It's not like a
Yeah.
thing that yeah.
It's not as specific as you were making
Yeah,
it,
but it's
yeah,
just I just don't really mind. My wife can do whatever she can. I'll do whatever I can. But at the end of the day, I just know that I'm taking care of my family. You
Yeah.
know.
And it really is growing up because you only learn what you're taught.
Yeah.
Mm.
So like, I mean, my mom and dad worked together when they worked
Mhm.
the same job, and they were easily making almost the same amount of money. So like, the idea of a breadwinner wasn't a thing,
Mm.
and the idea of someone cooking or cleaning more. My dad chefed up.
Mm.
He was cooking great meals. I was more happy when he cooked than my mom sometimes.
Ooh, that's good.
But it's just like how you grow up. I really feel like stuff
Yeah,
like that. Yeah.
Definitely.
I feel like while we're on the topic of
Mhm.
double standards and race,
Mhm.
I feel like we just have to talk, like, the dating world is so treacherous to black women right now.
Mm. Talk about it
There's
now.
so much expected of us.
Mhm.
And there's like when I do it, it's ghetto and it's loud and it's ratchet. But
Mm.
when Becky do it, she's cool.
Come
and
on.
She
Quirky.
gets points. She's quirky.
Yeah.
She's Gen
feisty.
Z.
Yeah,
She's fire.
She's into the
And
culture.
then, you know what I'm saying?
She's standing
There's
up for
black
me.
men that are like, oh, I want a spicy Latina, or I want a white girl who's this and that. But you want everything. All the qualities of a black woman without the black woman.
Oof.
Mm.
Oof. That's deep.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's hey.
Why do you think that is?
Why do you think that is? It's a black man. Like, what do you think society is like telling you guys, or like teaching you to make you feel like, or black men feel like black women just aren't it?
Me personally, I don't think society's telling me anything specific. I think it has, at least for me specifically, I don't think it has anything to do with that. I think it has more to do with, like we were saying earlier, the way you were raised. I think this goes for anything, not just necessarily like dating, but anything you were raised in. It's kind of harder to necessarily want that exact thing, you know. Like if you're raised in the church, you know, sometimes it's not always optimal to be in the church. You know, once you grow up, you know, everybody go through that phase. We kind of want to step away from that. You know, if you're raised in something and you're around it 24/7, eventually you're gonna want something different. You feel me? There's that, but I also think like the way you were raised and just like what you're exposed to growing up. Lots of black men, you know, I think it's not crazy to say a lot of black men grow up in fatherless homes. So you've got a mother, you know what I'm saying, doing all that they can to raise her son, and you know she's not going to be perfect all the time, but she's not necessarily always in her element of being a mother, because the mother has to all now be the mother and the father. So as a dude growing up, if you got a mom and she's being a mom half the time and then a dad the other half of the time, you know, you're not necessarily gonna want that, or you might attribute that to black women. Not me, but you know what I'm saying. And not everybody is as self-aware as other people are, so there's always that into consideration.
I think a lot of people don't know why. They don't know why they don't want certain people. And even it's like internal hatred and things like that within you, to not know. I don't know, it's very complex. I never felt like that, and race is barely a factor for me when I'm dating. I really feel like I really feel like that.
Do you guys agree?
I was finna say
I disagree.
Doesn't matter.
I disagree too.
I disagree, bro.
Yeah.
We disagree on what part?
Race playing a factor when, like, in dating, for you personally.
You say you disagree that it does play a part or it doesn't?
I know it does for me.
I agree in that. The reason why I say that is because I feel like some people have just been hurt by a particular race one too many times. So they're like, I want to try something new. You know, like let me give you an example, right? So I went to
Story time.
I went to Ghana last year, and me and my brother were at this place, and then we met this random Ghanaian man, right? And we were with my brother's fiance's family, and there's a white woman who was involved, who was there as well. So we were talking to him, and he said he wanted to find a wife, right? And me and my brother were like, oh, what are you looking for? You know, he's like, oh, I want a white woman. And we're like, why? Don't we have a lot of black women here? Don't you want these? He's like, oh, nah. He's like, no, I don't want that because you know they're gonna hurt me. I'm like, huh, okay, that's very interesting, you know. So definitely, I feel like race definitely plays a factor because back to what he was saying, depends on what you grew up with and all that. So
that is true.
What you're used to, So
Race not playing a factor is interesting because there are certain things, like when you're dating, regardless of where you grew up or how you grew up, like you dating somebody of the same race and dating somebody who's not the same race is just not going to be the same.
It isn't.
They're just not going to understand to an extent.
And
especially as black people.
I don't know if you need to understand all of me. I think somebody else can understand me. Like the same way with my friends, I'm going to my friends to talk about certain things, and I wouldn't go to my girlfriend to talk about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think we can be different and share our differences as similarities.
Let me kind of interesting. I probably have a different perspective on that because I do think I have to understand where I'm coming from.
Right. No. I'm African American.
Yeah.
I barely know much of my culture, I'd even say. So I feel like it's really different from me and then to some of you guys.
Yeah.
That's deep. I mean, I don't know. This is a good topic because I feel like I can relate to my own experience, right? So I have my own era, right? But like, I'm gonna be honest. I might be biased, but like, there's nothing that beats black women. That's just my own perspective, right? Just because I've come to a point where I'm like, you know what, this is what I'm looking for, and the only at least for me, as Emery, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what is it you're looking for in black women?
I'm looking for
we didn't ask you that question.
yeah.
We didn't ask him enough questions.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we didn't ask you that question.
So for me, I'm really looking for someone who understands me, someone who who has the values of a woman, of family, who believes in God, who also who loves me. You know what I mean? I mean, I'm coming back to what we said earlier. We can all, especially nowadays where, even 100K a year is not enough for a family. We can all put together our efforts. You know what I'm saying? So if we put together, it's gonna make our family more successful. Versus even if I end up in a good career, right? I feel like it's good to kind of share the struggles, and when you get to a point where all of you guys made it, you can like, oh man, we actually made it.
Yeah.
I mean, we are in a different era, obviously. What was in 1950s is different from now. Even though
We didn't even have a choice.
yeah,
Black with black, white with white.
yeah. So it's I don't know, man. It's deep.
Yeah.
Anyhow, I do think there's gonna be a part 2 of this.
Right.
Has to be.
Has
Yeah,
to be.
there has to be a part
This is
2
too
of this.
cliffhanger,
We
right?
didn't even get to all the questions.
Yeah, guys, we had a long list of questions because this is something that all of us really want to get to know and understand. So make sure you subscribe, like, comment, and y'all.
Before we go, clap it up for Emery.
We really appreciate
Thank you for bringing us all on.
But yeah, appreciate you. Thank you for tuning in, and make sure you come back for part 2. Peace. And love.
Peace.